Hey everyone, welcome to episode 8 of Talking to Unicorns. And today I am talking with Abby, who is a copywriter from Wellington. Abby, how are you doing?
Hi! How are you, Connor?
I'm doing very good. It's so good to finally get a chance to chat to you.
Yeah, face to face.
I know, because you've been on the Unicorn Factory for a while now and been doing some copywriting work.
Yeah.
But can you, just for everyone here listening, can you give us like a little bit of a background of who you are, what it is that you do, and all that fun stuff?
Okay. I'm Abby. I live in Titahi Bay in Porirua. I have a dog. His name's Yogi. He's a puppy. He's only 6 months old. I run my own business. It's called Shut Up and Dance. So we teach routines inspired by films and music videos, and I've been doing that for about 4 years with my 2 best friends. And it's just been a lot of fun and really challenging through lockdown. As I know a lot of people have, it's not I'm not the only one, basically. And yeah, I've started copywriting in the past 6 months and came across Unicorn Factory, and I'm so grateful that you exist because it's just a lovely community to be a part of, and I really feel like I've almost fast-tracked, myself and my freelancing journey, I guess, in some ways. So it's really cool. What else about me? Yeah, lots of things. I could keep talking, but I don't think we want to listen to that.
Well, yeah, so I'm so happy that you came on, because but even before you joined the Unicorn Factory, I knew about Shut Up and Dance because I used to work in the Biz Dojo, and you used to have like a few events there. And I think Marielle, my wife, has been to a few. Yeah. And so I was so excited when you came on board, and I was like, you put your case study up on there, and I was like, yes. That is like
my early case study.
Yeah, but that's the only one you really need if you think about it. But I actually just want to start there. Like, how did you get into setting it all up? Like, what was the idea? Where did it start? What were you doing at the time before you came up with it?
Okay, there's actually a really cool chat on Creative Mornings that we did. It's a 20-minute version. I'll give you the 1-minute version if I can go fast enough of where it started. But basically, so nearly 4 years ago, in 2016, I had come back from a trip in Europe, and I'd found out my partner had cheated on me for a long time, and it was horrible. I was in a place of like, oh, what do I do with my life? My other friend Lisa had just come back from a honeymoon overseas, and she was looking for a job. And then we met this amazing, incredible woman called Claire, who is from the UK and had moved over from there to be in New Zealand with a boy she met on Tinder. So she was like just starting to get back into life in New Zealand, was like, wait, what have I done? They're still good. We've got a baby. And so the three of us are all kind of in this slightly vulnerable position. I guess we all kind of needed connection, community to create something. And Lisa and I had always dreamed about learning the Single Ladies Dance by Beyonce, or learning how to moonwalk. And we'd always, she's an ex-gymnast, but was never quite good enough. Actually, I think she was quite good, but I wanted to be a dancer, and I wasn't really that good. And I did some ballet classes as an adult and felt like shit when I went in, staring at myself in the mirror, I just felt it wasn't what I wanted. I wanted to pretend that I was a ballerina. I know I'll never be a ballerina. I just wanted to pretend. And so that feeling of, I guess, wanting to channel your inner Britney Spears or prima ballerina is kind of what started Shut Up and Dance. And meeting Claire, she can dance. She taught us simplified versions of these choreo that we've just wanted to know for ages, sitting on YouTube being like, how do they do that? The tutorials are hard. You got to push play, push pause. And so we just decided to do a pop-up. We were like, let's just see what happens. We thought maybe 10 of our friends would turn up. And then we were just completely overwhelmed with 50 or 60 people signing up to our first course. And then a couple months later, we had 7 Sharp do a bit on us. And then we were like, oh God, the whole of New Zealand was going a bit dramatic, but we were getting so many emails from people across the country going, when are you coming to Christchurch? And so the whole journey of Shut Up and Dance is pretty cool. And we've also, because we were just, you know, 3 ladies who wanted to dance to Grease Lightning, it's like now we're kind of running a business, and it's really fun, and really hard and really rewarding and really amazing. Yeah. So that's the story. I think I explained that.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Wow. So did you have your first one here in Wellington?
Yeah.
And did you like create like a Facebook event and to
Yeah.
invite a few people? And,
Yep, and it just kind of people just started talking about it, and it just is such a testament, I guess, to the fact that, because what we don't have mirrors, we don't let photos or videos in to the classes, so it means that people who don't feel like super coordinated, or you know, it's a space for them to just go for it, and also because every class is different and a surprise, you don't know what it is till you get there. It could be Sia. It could be, last night was S Club 7. It was amazing. It could be like Bee Gees or S Club 7. And the fact that everyone's all going through it and learning it together at the same time means there's no like know-it-all Nancy's up the front, which is cool. I love if you're a know-it-all Nancy, like go for it. But it just creates that space for people to feel like you're all in it together a little bit, which is a real difference, I guess, to traditional dance classes.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So how does it work? So do you just show up and you learn one dance from start to end, and then at the end of the session you kind of wrap it up with doing a dance?
Yes, so you learn about a minute's worth of choreo to 12 or 11 different tracks, all different pop music. It's all best pop music. No sort of like, what is it, the remixes or anything. It's the legit ones. Songs, not like remixes at the gym and stuff. And then at the end, you get to put it to the song. And that's always a really rewarding, fun thing. But so, yeah, that whole idea of it's just about letting your hair down or just thrusting your stress away, or, you know, it's a lot of fun.
So what happened after you started getting all that traction? Because like, did you set out to it being like, hey, we're going to turn this into a business, or did you just go, well, something's happening here?
Yeah, we had absolutely no idea that we would turn our little pop-up thing where we just wanted to dance to Beyonce into a company that's been running for 4 years, and we've survived through lockdown and looking like we'll be able to keep afloat, so that's really great. And that just hopefully we can keep going and get it across New Zealand, maybe then Australia, maybe then the UK. It depends. We'll see.
That is so exciting. So I find it super interesting, like how a lot of people adapted to the whole lockdown thing, especially in the startup space, especially considering what you do, which I think like a lot of live events. What kind of happened when you found yourself in a situation where like things were going into lockdown?
Yeah, it was, so for us, we've always wanted to venture into the virtual world. I mean, that you run a fitness company, like that seems obvious, but because we want to use the real songs, we want to use Taylor Swift, and we want to use whatever, we actually want to use the real music. Of course, we need to get a tech license. So for our in-person classes, we pay for a performance license, and that covers us and gives money to all the artists. But if we were to put it online, you've got to get a sync license, and they're a lot more complicated and a lot more expensive. So we've sort of gone online, too hard basket. Maybe one day when we're in a position to go down there, we could have a look. And then obviously COVID happened, and we were forced into that, which was cool. You know, there's always a silver lining in these things. But so basically we got granted a temp sync license from the New Zealand Music Agency. Sorry, I know it's getting a little bit boring. But that meant that we could then live stream. So we had some restrictions. You can't pre-record or anything. And fortunately, the booking software that we use was fast-tracking their live streaming platform. So we used that. But then, that just made things all pretty... It's just the software, everything was really tricky. But that was our goal over lockdown. But as soon as lockdown, as our COVID response, but as soon as lockdown happened, we were just like, I don't know about online. Let's just do what we know, which is teach dance. And we just did free live Instagram classes for 6 weeks. And that was really rewarding. A lot of people were messaging being like, I'm an essential worker and I'm so like, thank you so much. I just wanted to cry. Some days it was so exhausting and I just had something to look forward to, and like that's just all you need, to know that.
So amazing. So now that we're back at level 1, are you doing events again?
Yes. Yeah. I'm trying to add more classes as well. We did have an event application going with Wellington on a plate, which will maybe happen again. We like to do a boogie and a burger. It's really fun.
Nice.
My 2 favorite things. Yeah, so definitely getting back into events, but just focusing on that bottom line as well.
That sounds amazing. Well, if I'm still here, because I am moving to Canada, I'll try and do one. Because I am not a good dancer, but I feel like there'll be a good experience to make.
You love it, yeah.
I love this Club 7, just to be clear. So great to hear. But what brought you to the Unicorn Factory? Because now you're on the Unicorn Factory as a copywriter.
Yeah.
How you got into copywriting?
Well, it was, I guess, through Shut Up and Dance. We've always heard people were like, oh, the brand is so cool. I love your guys' vibe and your tone of voice. It's real funny and all these things. And I'm like, I really love doing that. And I sort of had just been reflecting and thinking about what my career is and what I'm doing with my life. Every now and then you have those moments. And I just thought about how the last decade I've just been in like marketing, communicating, coordinating roles. And I just wanted to step away a little bit from coordinating part and more into like the art part, but I'm also still a very structured, pragmatic kind of a person. And I was like, copywriting is kind of in that world for me. It's like a beautiful balance of a bit of art and a bit of just being very pragmatic and great communication. So all these things, I was like, why have I not tried that before? And I just Googled and came across you, and it's just, it's been really awesome. I feel like I've been quite lucky to sort of come across a bunch of jobs and make some new contacts, and I'm loving it. I honestly don't know why I didn't do it earlier. It's really frustrating. I'm like, why didn't I do this earlier? I'm loving it. So
Nice. So is the plan at the moment to do it like something on the side of Shut Up and Dance, or is it something that you want to do more of in the future? How does copywriting fit into your day-to-day life at the moment?
Well, at the moment in my day-to-day life, I do a lot of Shut Up and Dance time. I do a lot of copywriting time. And then I also do a lot of like training my puppy, cleaning my house, doing gardening next door, babysitting, just all the jobs to try and help. So I ideally would like to get rid of some of those, I'd rather just garden in my own garden. And babysit my dog, not other people's kids, I guess. I just want to, but I do those things because I just sort of need a little bit of cash. So the dream is to just be able to move myself back into, a bit of Shut Up and Dance and a bit of copywriting.
Nice.
Super honest, but yeah.
Hey, tell me about it. I'm in the exact same boat because I do the Unicorn Factory and I still do like digital marketing on the side you just have to.
It'll happen.
You have to balance it between the things that you love and sometimes the things that pay like really good cash and kind of keep
really good power.
And then eventually, it moves to the point where you can pick and choose whatever you want to do.
Yeah, that's the dream.
What is the kind of stuff that you do for your clients? Is it like blogging, website copy? What is the kind of stuff that people come to you for?
I've had a bit of a range. So some of it's been right from the beginning, right from the get-go, like a brand, content, everything, like basically no information, let's start. And then, other things have just been like, please fit into this existing tone of voice, which I also love doing. I love receiving seeing a brief and a style guide and things, and making that fit is just dreamy. But then I love being able to be creative and take something from the beginning. Yeah, a few blogs. A lot of it is website content. And I think I really love doing, I like the line of writing for people and writing for computers or Google, basically. And that's where the web content stuff I find is quite fun.
So was like learning how to write for Google or like SEO stuff something that you had to learn when you got into copywriting, or did you already have an idea of how it all works just because of all the stuff that you had done in the past with your other projects?
I just had an idea, but it's something that's always changing as well. So just trying to keep on top of it. I remember when we flew down to Christchurch for some event for Shut Up and Dance, I was like, oh God, this whole SEO thing's so overwhelming. How do I properly understand this? And I just set myself this task of like reading this PDF that I'd found online on the plane flight down and back. And that was the best thing I could have done because it was a great document. But yeah, just setting myself those tasks every now and then to keep myself up to date.
That is amazing. So the one thing that I really love about the brand that you've developed with Shut Up and Dance is it's got a very like great personality. Like you can kind of see it across the socials and the website, and now talking to you in person, I can kind of see where it comes from. So
I'm only a third of it. Well, maybe like a 1/100th, a 1/1,000,000th of it, because I do think that a lot of that voice doesn't like. I am the facilitator of that voice. Like I get my inspiration from my Claire and my Lisa and all of our fabulous unicorn instructors. We also call our instructors unicorns.
Nice.
All of our community. I get so many jokes and inspiration from them. So I think it's about authenticity.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure. So the question I have is like, how do you then find it if you've got like a particular style that you've developed for your own brand and then start working for someone brand new? Do you find it easy to adapt to their existing brand, or do you feel like you come in and bring a bit of like who you are to their brand?
It depends. I don't think I bring too much of myself apart from. Actually, no, that's a lie. I think the part that I bring to anything that's coming my way that isn't Shut Up and Dance is probably like a clarity, which is a little bit boring. It's not a style, but that is my first, like, I'm so passionate about having effective communication.
Yeah.
That's just number one. Like, make it clear and simple. People are so time poor. So I'm like, if that's my energy. But then it's like making a yum dinner or something. It's like you sprinkle some cayenne pepper there, and I don't know, is the cayenne pepper like a little bit of I don't know, sassiness or something, like, so it is. I'm just, you chuck those things in for sure.
Oh, amazing.
I wouldn't much.
I want to talk a bit about, like tips and tricks for people who might be running their own business or might be coming out of university and thinking about, hey, I love writing as well. What kind of things do I need to keep in mind? And one thing that I'd like to hear from you is, what are kind of the things that you learned early on when you started getting into copywriting? What were some of like the challenges that you had, and kind of how did you deal with them?
How did I mitigate them? And have I mitigated them yet? The first thing, the first challenge I think has just been doubting yourself. Like that's not new, is it? I think that's pretty common in a lot of people, but I think also linking that fear of doing a bad job or questioning your ability can also be linked back to just wanting to do a really good job. I think those things are related. And so actually that was a phone conversation I had with you, I think once when I was asking for some advice. It's, I think, not doubting yourself, but how do you learn that? How do you unlearn that? I think it's just experience and time.
For sure.
Getting good feedback and figuring out how it is that you feel validated is like, for me, I like to hear that I've done a good job or know that something's worked great, cool. And remembering that, being like, that's right, don't forget that. And take that feeling and apply it to my next project. So that's, I guess, a way that I've tried to mitigate some doubt, which is definitely a challenge. And then, of course, quoting and trying to make things fair and reasonable and right is also a challenge, which it shouldn't be in some ways. It's like, no, that shouldn't be hard. But I think, you just care a lot about your relationship with new people and doing a good job. So
yeah. Well, for what it's worth, I've been doing digital marketing for like 5 years, and I still get like doubt when I work with clients, especially when I work with new clients, because like expectations in yourself.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I can't let these people down. And I think the thing that you like are like not an employee, you're like a service provider in a way. Just empathize that, because you're like, oh my goodness, I can't mess this up. But do you feel like that has changed since you started taking on a bit more work? Do you feel like it eases down over time, that feeling of like, this could be bad, or the...
Yes, and also not over delivering on myself. Because I think it's really easy to go like, okay, I'm gonna I'll add this in at the end, which is something I did in my first job. I was like, I want to add value somehow. How can I add value?
Yeah.
I'm like, the value is already what you've done.
Yeah.
And of course, it's awesome to be able to add value if it's appropriate. But I was thinking like, I'll do a blanket add value on everyone, and that doesn't necessarily work.
Yeah. And for sure. That's the thing. I think that is like the hardest thing to learn at the start, But you kind of figure that out as you start doing more work.
Yeah, what you were just saying, you're like a service person. So you sort of sometimes feel like you're just there to do the job, but you are probably there because somebody hired you because they like you and you're an awesome person to work with and you're great at communicating. And it's like remembering that part too, that you're also human and you do bring your flavor to it, even if it is just clarity.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
That is exactly right. That's the thing that I think a lot of people forget about, especially on the Unicorn Factory, when people get in touch with them, is like they have chosen you.
Yeah.
Like they, especially like we've got like illustrators and copywriters. It's like you've got your case studies on your profile. They've seen it. They've read your bio, and they have chosen you.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes people forget it, but it is definitely something to draw like confidence and comfort from, knowing that people made the conscious decision that you're the one. You know?
True.
And it's interesting, but I think it's still like a hard thing that you deal with all the time. That's at least how I see it. I feel like you just need to keep reminding yourself that you do like good work like that. And how have you found the journey of like, because like another conversation we had in the past was about pricing. How have you found the journey of like figuring out how to charge for the work that you do?
I think it's still evolving as well, because I'm still building up my confidence. Like I've only been doing this for 6 months, but then I've done a lot of work in the past 6 months and I've learned a lot. So how do I feel like my pricing is evolving? Currently, well, I feel comfortable. I feel a lot more comfortable than I did 4 months ago. And I definitely see that I was doing a disservice to myself for the amount that I was previously charging. But then, I think everything's on a case-by-case basis still for me at the moment.
Yeah, so how would, if say, for example, someone was thinking about getting into copywriting, having their like first gig lined up and they're preparing a quote, how would you like recommend they think about it? Or how would you recommend approaching a situation like that?
God, I still don't know the answer to that question, but let's have a conversation for sure. I feel like a good, and I know we've had this conversation, haven't we? I feel like a good place is always an hourly rate. What are you comfortable with? Like, what is something that you could help pay your rent? Like asking those sorts of questions. What is the minimum wage? What is your experience? What is the dream amount that you'd like to be earning a week, per hour, a year? I think maybe just getting the calculator out sometimes. I love my calculator. I hate maths, but I love my calculator.
Yeah, just make it up as you go, eh?
Yeah. I think, I think also just having other conversations with other copywriters. I know I spoke to your wife as well, and that was really useful for me. I was like, okay. Right. Oh, so you can charge this way or that way. And you can charge that much for that. And that makes sense because you're doing this much work. I get it.
Yeah.
And
I think, funnily enough, the first time you talked, I think she had only been like copywriting for 6 months.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cycle.
Exactly. Oh, that's so awesome. So, like, having done it for 6 months, is there anything about freelancing that you love? Or is there anything that is like the highlight thing to be excited about if you're on the fence about it right
now? Okay. The thing is, I love writing, but I'll never be a writer.
Yeah.
For some reason in my head, I didn't think about the fact that there is a whole world of organizations and charities and people and individuals and small businesses and large businesses, and I just kept thinking like writing or screenplay, because I work in film and television industry as well, and I was like, oh, I cannot write scripts. I see the people who write scripts. God, they're amazing. I don't have that. Oh well, and I didn't realize that there's this whole world of it, and I guess I sort of put it into this box like, oh, that's like marketing, comms and stuff, but it's really not. It's just so much more. And yeah, I think the flexibility as well of freelancing, like just hanging out on my couch at home. I mean, I've been able to do this for ages with Shut Up and Dance, working from home, and I just love it. I've got my little puppy here. Can we see him? Oh,
hey, buddy.
A little nap. But I can just, I think the flexibility is amazing, and it means like sometimes it's 10:13 right now. I might be working at 10:13 tonight. But that means that on Friday in the afternoon I can do a bunch of errands and stuff. And I just love that flexibility. I think that's cool. I think it's a great way to live.
That's amazing. Well, we're about to hit the 30-minute mark. So tell us, where can we find you? And if I want to come to one of your sessions, where do I go look?
Okay, so Shut Up and Dance is shutupanddance.co, www.shutupanddance.co. Just go to the website or find us on Instagram, which is Shut Up and Dance NZ, or Facebook. And just book or email or whatever you need to do. And then for myself, I'm just www.abbydamen.com.
Nice.
Yeah, or you can just Google me, it will just come up.
Nice. Hey, thank you so much for taking the time to have a chat to me. You're awesome.
You're awesome. Have you been interviewed yet?
I haven't been interviewed.
Should I interview you?
Potentially in the future. But hey, honestly, I think it was so much fun talking to you. And you're like the perfect example of like the types of freelancers that I love having on the platform, because there's so many people who are doing their own thing and then freelancing on the side to kind of just, make a little bit extra cash here and there. And that is actually how the Unicorn Factory started. It wasn't like primarily freelancers, it was like startup people who were making a little bit of extra cash on the side.
Oh, wow, I love that.
Yeah, so I always love talking to people who are passionate and doing their own thing and kind of doing some freelancing stuff on the side. So it was an amazing chat to have.
Yeah, I love your energy and enthusiasm as well. You're the best. Thank you.
All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up here. That was episode number 8 of Talking to Unicorns. And I'll see you for the next one. Bye.